Welcome to the module on rigid pavement. In continuation to the previous module on defects in PQC, today we will further elaborate the defects in PQC as an introductory part only. To understand what is a defect in a rigid pavement, a defect refers to a visible evidence of an undesirable conditions in the pavement affecting its serviceability, structural conditions or appearance as shown in the figure. Like this condition is being effective for the riding quality of the road. Defects in rigid pavements, if you see the different types of defects in rigid pavement, there are four predominant modes of defects or distress we commonly call and observed in the rigid pavement. One is cracking, second is deformation, third is surface texture deficiency, and the fourth one is joint sealant defects. In our previous module, we have talked in detail about the cracking, the different types of cracking, that is block crack, corner crack, diagonal crack, longitudinal crack, shrinkage crack, and transverse cracks. The description of these defects, the possible causes of these defects, as well as we have discussed about the recommended remedies to overcome these defects. Now in the current module, we will be discussing about the other three types of distress, that is deformation, surface texture deficiency, and the joint sealant defects. Under deformation, there are two categories. One is joint stepping and the second one is rocking. Under surface texture deficiencies, we will be talking about raveling or loss of surface texture. And under joint sealant defects, we will talk of joint sealant and spalling. So the different types of distress, if you see, we'll start with the joint stepping, then rocking, raveling, loss of surface texture, joint sealant and spalling will be covered one by one. Joint stepping. The descriptions, if you see, joint stepping is the differential vertical displacement of abutting slabs at joints or cracks, minimum difference in level between the two adjacent slabs. If it is more than 10 millimeters, then we need to rectify those as a defect. And if it is less than 10 millimeters, then possibly you will not have much difficulty in riding, and there is no much recommended remedies are available. The possible causes are lack of effective load transfer, dowels and tie bars at joints or cracks, the poor subgrade or subbase support, and the loss of subbase materials owing to the pumping. The recommended remedies, if you see, the total reconstruction of the slab and its subgrade is the best fit solution for this type of defects. Slab lifting in conjunction with either mud pumping or pressure on vacuum grouting undertaken in accordance with the specialist subcontractors' recommendations. Mud pumping, when you talk about mud pumping, it is basically done by drilling hole through the slab and injecting grout, either the cement grout or any polyurethane materials, which will fill the voids below and will allow the pumping, the backward pressure, and will make sure that the slab will retain its position. But in order to do that, you need to have an expertise in this, because depending upon the location where the settlement is, there has to be a sequence in order to lift the slab. Otherwise, what will happen is it will be further damaged if it is entering into a weaker zone where you have more possibilities of erosion and the grout coming out of the confined areas. The next distress we will be talking about is rocking. The description itself clearly mentions that it is the vertical movement at joints or cracks when the vehicle overpasses. Sometimes the vertical movement causes the water of slurry to be ejected up through the joints or cracks, leading to a loss of support, which may be referred to as pumping. Because there is a gap between the two slabs, and through the gap we are allowing the water. The possibility of providing the possibility of converting the underneath soil into a cushion form is more, and thus whenever there is a vehicle overpass, because of the movement of the slab in the vertical directions, it will act as a pumping. The possible causes are lack of support from the subbase, lack of or ineffective load transfer of dowel and tie bars at the joints. The recommended remedies are full depth reconstructions, pressure or vacuum grouting undertaken in order to lift the slab to its position and seal the gaps. Again, mud pumping, as we discussed in the previous slide, is the best option, and the material to be pumped can depend upon the amount of lifting we require in order to make sure that the slab will become in position. Raveling is a progressive disintegration of surface. First loss of mortar, then the loss of aggregates. So ultimately it is exposing the complete PQC surface, which is being textured and is completely removed, the mortar part, and then the aggregates are being exposed, which will have a detrimental effect on the vehicular traffic, on the tires of the vehicles. The possible causes are inadequate curing, poor quality concrete, or overworking of the surface during the construction, that is excess compaction, or the workability of the concrete is too high, or the slurry is being pumped on top of the surface, maybe in the form of a bleeding, and then the local cement deficiencies. So possibly, if you see a bleeding portion on top of the PQC, then that could be a potential raveling surface. So in order to avoid the raveling, it has to be rectified then and there only by sprinkling lime or cement on top of it, in order to make sure that the excess water is being consumed on top of it by using the cement particles. The recommended remedies are thin bonded surface repair if it is untreated during the time of paving, or the full depth reconstruction for extensive concrete panels is the only remedy in order to get rid of the raveling defects in PQC. Loss of surface texture, as it describes inadequate skid resistance due to the surface microstructure or macrostructure rounded off, smooth, polished or glassy appearances. That surface texture is basically required in order to improve the skid resistance and the braking capacities. The moment there is a loss of surface texture, the vehicular controls will be lost, and the safety precautions will be at stake. So in order to have a safe road, wherever you have the surface textures being damaged, it needs to be rectified then and there only. Abrasions and polished aggregates, or incorrect selection of aggregates, poor construction during the finishing operations, or low strength mortar worn out from the surface due to the traffic. The recommended remedies are transverse grooving using a mechanical method, surface dressing, that is epoxy based anti-skid surface dressing. Textured wearing courses or a friction course will help you to improve the riding quality of the vehicles by improving the surface texture, or else you can have a mechanical roughening, that is by using a mechanical grinding tools to do the lost surface texture to be reinstated in its position, in order to make sure that the vehicle is having a proper frictional force for braking and stopping. Then coming to the sealant defects, this is nothing but loss or cracking of seals resulting in foreign materials in the joints, or extrusion of sealants leaving mold at the joints. The possible causes could be: one is because of the adhesion failure, second is because of the cohesion failure, or the third one is because of the extrusion failure. When we say adhesion failure, this is because inadequate preparation of the sealing grooves, faulty or inappropriate sealing materials, incorrect sealing groove dimensions, or chilling effect of cold concrete, and moisture in sealing grooves. When it comes to cohesion, it is because of with age the cohesion properties of the sealant decreases. faulty or inappropriate sealing material, incorrect sealing groove dimensions, or lack of bond breaking strip beneath the seal. And under the extrusion part, it is mainly because of the overfilled sealing grooves, incorrect sealing groove dimensions, lack of compressible choking strip at the bottom of the sealing grooves. So now one can understand that how important it is in order to maintain the dimension of the sealing grooves or the dimension of the joints being cut in the transverse and the longitudinal directions, because that is directly affecting the sealant defects in order to in the form of say adhesion failure, a cohesion failure, or an extrusion failure. So the recommended remedies are remove the old seal, thoroughly clean out the junction or the section, and prepare the groove and reseal it with a fresh material. So this is the photograph which she is showing you, like how the sealing can be done. It is a bit like excess being poured on top of the joint. So the moment it is being poured excess, the possibility of peel off or because of the cohesion will be more. So one can understand that when you apply a sealant, it has to be properly laid and given sufficient time to cure, and then cleaned properly in order to make sure that there is no adhesion effect, there is no extrusion effect, and there is no your cohesion effect in the sealing of joints. So coming to the box out spalling, if you see the description of box out spalling, it is the cracks developed across the slab emanating from manhole and gully recesses. The possible causes are incorrect positioning of the recess, propping of the slabs. So generally narrow cracks in reinforced slabs requires no immediate treatment, but medium cracks in reinforced slabs should be sealed properly with the approved sealing material, which should have a lifespan of at least 10 years. And wide cracks in a reinforced slab or any crack in unreinforced slabs needs to be repaired using a replacement method, that is bay replacement or the complete panel replacement. Coming to the surface spalling, a breakdown or disintegration of slab surfaces at edges, joints, corners or cracks, infiltration of stones, silt or other fine material joints into the grooves and cracks, weak concrete lacking in durability or compaction, mechanical damage caused by the removal of the formwork or dowel restraint, and corrosion of the dowels. These are basically the possible causes which will have an impact on surface spalling. The recommended remedies are you can apply a thin bonded concrete repair material, or in the transverse full depth repair or a full depth corner repairs. So to summarize this module, we talked about the definition of defects in rigid pavement, loss of surface texture, sealant defect, rocking and raveling, box out spalling and surface spalling, their possible causes in PQC, and the recommended methods to rectify these type of distresses in the PQC. Do tune in for more updates. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching.